One, and we're live right on time.
Look at him. He doing a
welcome to we,
countdown because he
welcome.
worried
Well, you
about
know we got
Marion saying something about us being late.
not Marion, not Marion, not Marion. We got scolded last time when she told us I was here on time.
Who? Oh, Stacy.
Y'all the ones that were late
Yeah, yeah.
for your own show. Welcome to We Have Something to Say with Kenneth Lively and Leonard
Hold on.
Watkins or Leonard
Is the
Watkins.
name we got something to say or we have something to say? Which one is? Do we have a?
Mhm.
Can you hear me,
Yeah, I can hear you. What'd you say?
Leonard?
I can hear you.
Can you hear
Yes,
me?
yes, I hear you. I hear you.
I
Yes.
say it's a talk show. We got something to say or we have something to say.
Shit doesn't matter. It's synonymous. You do look up the word synonym.
Because
We have something to say. That's the name. We have
well,
something
I
to say.
mean, hey, listen, with your Morehouse education and the big SAT words that you use,
Look, I wasn't. Look, I'm
sure,
very.
I say we got something to say. I think that's y'all let us know. Does it sound better? We have something to say or we got something to say.
Look, I'm very, very clear that I wasn't an SAT star. So don't 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 give me
That
accolades
makes
I
two of
didn't
us,
earn.
bruh.
Don't give me accolades I didn't earn. When I got to school, I was very, very aware within the first 2 weeks that I was going.
I'm
I
just
had to work
thinking,
harder than
because
everybody else around all them
you
smart dudes.
you went to the great House of Moore.
Yeah, and I was very, very aware that intellectually I was going to have. Diana Robbins says we have something to say, so I have something to say to start off. And I'm gonna be cursing a lot today, y'all. So I'm so glad that Kenneth's mom is not here to hear this because I will be cursing a lot today. What the fuck is Pharrell Williams talking about? Does the man read? Does Pharrell Williams read? Like Pharrell Williams gets in a conference and literally says, "Do you want to be known for getting the job for being black, or do you want to be known for being the best?" Dumbass, that's the whole point. Haven't you ever read any Black history books? That's the point. They were the best. They were the best. Dr. Charles Drew was the best. And he died in a damn dilapidated hospital because he couldn't get access to his own invention, blood plasma. What? What? Man, I'm so sick of these celebrities who won't pick up a book and fucking read. Like, you saying get rid of DEI. It just amazes me. These dude, just keep making music, because obviously you aren't learned enough to speak out on these issues, to make a statement like that with the platform that you have. Obviously, 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 with the shit that's been going on for the last 9 months, you get up and say something like that. If the plan that all African Americans have ever been doing since we got here in change has been trying to level the playing field. Not get an advantage on the playing field, just level it. And purposely, folks have not wanted the playing field to be leveled. That's just a fact. There's been too many books by white people, since that's who you trust so much, to tell you that. Too many. And for him to get in front of a conference and say that dumb shit, man, I'm so sick of these Negroes. Like, you make your whole living off this culture that you're part of. Your whole living. And not one music company is owned by somebody who's African American when we dominate the music field. And there's a reason for that. And if you ever read Barry Gordy's autobiography, you'll know that. But to get in front of those impressionable people and say that stuff, Do you want to be known as the best? Be known as you got a job as being black. It's not mutually exclusive. Man, I was so floored by that this week. I mean, just some of the things that make me have a visceral reaction sometimes with some of these people is you just want to do something to them. Like, you think that your ability to make beats gives you the license and the knowledge to speak on something that obviously you have never researched or read about. Ever. Because the whole point of getting written Black history is to show you that the best have always been left out. I'm going to say this, Kenneth, I'm going to let you come in. I remember looking at my mom's fifth yearbook, right? And in her yearbook, her junior year, it shows all the professors. Every last one of her professors was either educated at Ivy League school or high rated school, all her professors. And I sat there and I looked at them and I wonder if they are this because they wanted to be there or because they couldn't get higher paying jobs elsewhere. Like, because everybody wasn't George Washington Carver, where this is where I want to be. High functioning professor saying, no, I want to be around and teach Black students at a predominantly Black school. Because they probably couldn't get jobs. I remember her talking about Black teachers always having, when she was coming up, or by the time she had her kids, and when she was coming up, women her age always had to have masters before they could get a job. Always. They had to have masters or they couldn't be considered for a job in the South. I've been saying this for a while. At some point, some of these people have to pay a price from the community. Whether it's ostracizing them, not supporting them, saying, hey man, stay over there. Because this shit ain't working for them to come out and say some of the stuff they say that can so hurt the body politic. That's my rant for this morning. What you think? Kenneth, can you hear me? Are you froze? He's been freezing in and out. His proximity to whiteness is so great that he feels like that isn't his struggle. Fine. But it was his struggle. That makes it even more insidious. It was your struggle. You know what it's like. I'm sorry, you just want.
Well, let's say this. I'm having to actually project this through my phone because this computer keeps glitching.
Okay, no problem. Go for it.
This system, and I swear they swear up and down. It's my internet connection. It's not my damn internet connection. But anyway, hear about the Pharrell Williams thing, so I can only admit about what you said. But it is removed from the Black community, from our community, that appear relevant. Now, I don't know what that that particular conference was about and why he even made the comments that he made. I do know, I agree with you, they were unnecessary. There's nothing out there that suggests that that Black people, we're not exceptional in a lot of ways. As you said, you talked about your mother's professors, and they were all of them were from either Ivy League or schools that were high echelon in this country. And they did work at those schools at HBCUs because they probably couldn't get a job anywhere else. It's very rare that somebody Black had a job at one of those schools during your mother probably came through college in the 50s, somewhere around there, 50s and 60s. Yep. It's very rare that one of them got a job there. Very, very rare. And it wasn't until the 70s when they started, when they really started adding Black professors, late 60s, early 70s, we start adding Black professors to these colleges. But these It's funny how we have to be exceptional and they just have to be. We continuously see, and just to show, let's say in politics, we have a whole bunch of people in the political arena that are just below average. They're below average. They bring nothing meaningful to the conversation, to the body politic. They don't. They really don't. They just there. They're just white. Or they just kiss the right person's ass. All of that stuff. And here we are. We have to be, as you and I were taught this. We have to be 10 times better and have no problems, no issues. How we see it. We have to control our behavior at all times. Because anytime we do something outside of what the polite society thinks is acceptable, we get slapped back. But you continuously have people on the other side, people in the white community who fail up. They are below average. I mean, here it is. I'm gonna bring this Marley Taylor Greene. Below average woman. She has no. Only talking point that she has is, or had before recently, is minorities are taking jobs and things of that nature, racist stuff. Let's say that, and she failed up. I don't even know if she has a degree in anything, in any field, not just and just in case and point, just to let y'all know, there's no education requirement to be a member of to be an elected official. There is none. But we continuously have Black and Latino people with exceptional records who are highly intelligent, academic credentials out the yin yang, and they're rejected. But you have people who with below average intelligence getting elected to Congress. Another example, Tommy Tuberville, who's now running for the governor of Alabama. He's a U.S. senator. We did not know that Tommy Tuberville was that damn dumb. We did not know. When that man said he didn't know there were 3 branches of government, that was it for me. That was it. How are you going to be a college football coach and not know that there's 3 branches of government? And you running for one of the branches, a seat in one of the branches. How do you not know that? But they continue to fail up. Continue to fail up. And they run against people who are highly intelligent, accomplished. Matter of fact, I think Tommy Tuberville, he won his seat. I think it was Doug Edwards that he beat to get that
Jones.
You get that seat in Alabama, if I'm not mistaken.
Doug Jones.
But we don't have that luxury. Say what now? Who was it?
Doug Jones.
It glitched, so I didn't hear what you said, Leonard.
I said Doug
Jones. Yeah, he beat Doug Jones to get that seat. Who's an attorney? But yet still, we have people who vote for somebody simply because they know their name.
She's a business owner and an UGA graduate, according to Marion. And you glitching like crazy.
Now, you ever see the movie The
You glitching like crazy. We catching every other word.
You ever see that? Eddie Murphy.
No, I can't hear you because you're glitching. Are you talking through your phone or are you talking through your computer?
And they have no
So let's see if we can't get him back. I believe, my belief with Congress right now is this. You have too many lawyers in Congress. You don't have enough, what I would think, regular people, regular curious people. I think that you need way more mechanics, way more salon owners.
Because
I think you need way more mechanics, way more people who don't necessarily have degrees. I think the reason we're in the position we're in right now is because the people who get up there with fancy degrees don't understand a lot of time how their policies affect regular people on the ground, because they don't have the experience of regular people. And then they get up there and think that it's their right and their response. Well, they think they're absolutely right, not their responsibility to dominate those people. And that's the personality glitch, if you ask me. I think that, so are you not sure that, so my question, my cousin Eileen, is are you not sure that there should be a broader mix of people in Congress, and that there should just only be, because Congress is dominated by attorneys, and look at where that's gotten us. That would be my answer. Congress is dominated by attorneys, and look at where that has gotten us. There's not enough broad mix of people who run, excuse me, let's be clear, run for office, because first you have to volunteer to run for office, and not enough good people run for office because they think the pay is too low. And she is representative of some people who think she represents them up in the Rome, Georgia area. You know, those people think that she is the person that's best suited to speak their interests. I don't agree with them. You know, I'm always starting to wonder about it. But Congress right now, and the Senate right now, I was just having a small conversation with my sister this morning. Congress and the Senate seems to me that I don't know if I can say that those are good people. I don't think any of the Republican senators are good people. That's just my opinion. I don't think good people vote to approve this group of mediocre people who are in the administration. The people in this administration are mediocre. Cash Patel is a mediocre attorney. Pam Biondi doesn't seem to have any ethics. We can go. Stephen Miller is just a sociopath. Let's see, not mean. As long as those without degrees know how laws work, I agree. I need a diversity of thoughts and experiences. This is what I would say. I would say that, let's use you for an example. I would say that as long as Eileen Gray got there, the Eileen Gray I knew got there and knew how to make decisions based on information that was given to her, that's enough for me. Because you know enough lawyers, but it's not just the training that gets you there. It's also your personality and what type of person you are. And a lot of those people don't seem to, for instance, I'll give a prime example. I can never forgive Lisa Murkowski for her votes when she goes, well, I had to vote for the people of Alaska. Like, Alaska doesn't have as many people as Atlanta. Not even close. So your state took precedent over everybody. Who do you want to write laws? You can have attorneys on your staff, but you can also have attorneys on your staff who you can say, hey, break that down for me and help me understand it like a 7-year-old. Like, would you prefer, this is a tangent. I don't like the fact that very few of the Supreme Court justices on the Supreme Court have ever tried cases. That's why I love Ketanji Brown, because she can sit there and say, as a former public defender, look, I can tell you how these policies are going to affect people on the ground. The rest of them don't. When have they ever been down in the dirt trying cases besides Kagan, Brown, and oh my God, the Hispanic lady? Why should you just get the clerk and then move to the Supreme Court, not understanding how your decision is going to affect the people on the ground? You could be brilliant, but without the experiential part of it, the intellect may be fine, but you don't have the experiential part of it to understand. Even Rehnquist understood that. Rehnquist understood that when he got pulled. I remember my little brother pointed this out to me. Rehnquist understood that when he got pulled over driving in Massachusetts, and the officer didn't know who Rehnquist was. And after his experience, Rehnquist came and said, wait a minute, the beat cop is at one point in time the most powerful person in the justice system. And no, you just can't ask people to do stuff that they don't know is illegal, but you know is illegal. So when you say who's going to write the laws, you're going to help write the laws. I mean, we need more insurance owners, company owners, agency owners to be in Congress. Because look at where we are right now. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that you can't say you're happy with where we are right now. So what's the solution to that? I'm curious to think what's the solution to that. So I think that you have to start having people in Congress who have a range of experiences. People who failed, people who got back on their feet, people who succeeded then failed, people who maybe don't want to be super, super rich, and they can speak for the people who don't want to be super rich. Look, where we are, American clamor for business owners elite, last president that were non-lawyers, Trump, Jr., Bush, and Reagan. Yeah, I don't think that's true. I think that's the nuances of that. That's not true. 90 million people didn't vote, and all Americans didn't clamor for a business owner as a leader. They clamored probably for a certain type of business owner. He's just a politician that, whether we like it or not, he understood how to, and he understands, and he's starting to lose it a little bit, understood how to exploit people's deepest fears. Not that he was a good business owner. Let's be honest. People ignored his business track record because he was appealing to their fears. You and I talked about that quite a few times, Marion. He appealed to people's deepest instincts. Kenneth, whenever you're ready, Kenneth, to their deepest, most racist, fearful instincts. That's what he appealed to. He didn't have a goddamn thing to do with him as a business leader. Some of them said that, but I don't see that to be true. Some of them were just still mad that large parts most of his followers get on TV whenever I get on TV and explain their vote. When somebody points out to them the common sense of why their vote failed. Seen them build. Jennings hasn't been able to do it when folks challenge him on it. He can't do it. And so I think Americans, I think people say business owner, but really I think the proof has been shown that it wasn't about his being a business owner. What good has he done business wise? Everything he's done is turned to shit. Because if that's the case, then they clamored for a person that was right next to a obvious pedophile. That's one thing we do know about Jeffrey Epstein. We don't know anything else about it. We know that he was into pedophilia. And he clamored to be near that man. And you saying that's what they voted for too? They overlooked that. I mean, we can go down that rabbit hole of all the stuff they overlooked. And he wasn't a great businessman. He was a cheat. He cheated people. If being a great businessman is that you cheat, well, because Elon Musk cheated. Elon Musk got a leg up, and then he came in and cheated. So I don't necessarily agree with that, Marion. So again, to come back to, I think we need a more diverse set of people in Congress. I think it's great that that guy in Nebraska is running, who's been a mechanic for the last 25 years of his life. He's smart. He reads. He seems like a man who reads and has a natural curiosity. So because he doesn't have a degree, he's not qualified. I don't know. I definitely don't agree with that. Eileen, I don't know if you remember this. I remember the person I used to think Man, that lady really came up, was Karen Handel in Atlanta. Remember, she didn't have but a high school diploma, but she ended up being Mike Ken, who was a former chairman of the commission, his right-hand man. And then she ended up being, she ran and for a minute was the commission chairman. I didn't agree with her policies, but it was obviously that she wasn't stupid. I just didn't agree with her policies. And she wasn't a great politician. So now I'm curious as for you all to say, you think you should have I think Kenneth said you should have the educational minimum. What is that? What is that educational minimum? Kenneth, you here yet? You hear that? Here yet? Because again, if we just use the Supreme Court as an example, if I'm correct, there's only 3 people that ever tried cases, real cases. I mean, in the courtroom down there at the bottom, dealing with regular people, not at the highest level where you're going through the appeals process and blah, 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 and you're a corporate attorney and you can do this and you can do that. I'm talking about people who, as Brian would say, you understand the policies that you're about to espouse. You understand how they affect people and the nuances that they affect people on the ground. Hey, Rosalind. So, again, Mary, I'm just curious, and I'm just curious to say, okay, well, I don't agree with either, but you don't have a robust clapback to your assertions. I will provide the opposition. I don't have a robust I don't have a robust clapback. So I need a robust clapback. I don't agree with, you don't agree with what? So which assertion don't you agree with? That there should be, I don't understand which assertions you're disagreeing with. So I know you're on your phone typing up then the devil's advocate, because that's what you do. That's why I like you on here. So tell me exactly what you're talking about. I don't think that you can argue with this statement. We are where we are because of the people in Congress right now. That's that. The results speak for themselves. I don't make the results. The results speak for themselves. You don't have law degrees. A law degree is not required for the Supreme Court. Wow, I did not know that. I didn't know that because I didn't know that. I did not know that. The people. We got double feedback, Kenneth. Can you hear me yet? You are where you are because
can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now. Well, in and out. We
okay
on our side, I think we'll admit.
Yeah, right. There's no when they wrote the Constitution.
Your mic's not connected. Kenneth, your mic's not connected. Your mic's not connected.
Yeah.
I can hear you, but you're going in and out. So I'm hearing bits and pieces. We're hearing bits and pieces. Is your phone, it won't come through clearly on your phone? Says legal training. Wow. Legal training, not a degree. I didn't know that. So now you see why, because Amy Coney Barrett was nowhere. If you go back and look at Amy Coney Barrett's credentials, they don't come close to Ketanji Brown or
I'm fully on here now.
Yeah, Diana. Wow, I didn't know that. Because Amy Coney Barrett's credentials don't come close to Ketanji Brown. Y'all help me out here. The brilliant Hispanic lady and Kagan. Not even close. Not even close. She was a professor at Notre Dame. Okay, what cases did she try? It's not even close. So to come back to it, there should be some level of Barack Obama is not only brilliant, but Barack Obama would have been brilliant regardless, because he has such a curiosity about how to make things work. This president doesn't have a curiosity about how to make things work. And then you have so many people in Congress right now that they know what to say to get the seat. Sotomayor, right? Sotomayor. They know what to say to get the seat, but they don't know anything about how their policies affect people around the country. They don't, not in my opinion. So again, I think the question was, should there be an educational minimum to be in Congress? I would say high school. If you can win, if you can go out, because you can go out and convince people that you are qualified for Congress and you only have a high school diploma, I think it's safe to say you must be a pretty smart person. You're probably just a pretty smart person. If you can convince enough people to vote you into Congress with a high school diploma. They don't know constitutional law. Who doesn't know constitutional law? The Supreme Court justice or people in Congress? I don't think people in Congress should have to know constitutional law. I think they have to be able to be good decision makers and surround themselves with people that can give them the information that they trust, and they can then decipher and make decisions based on their life experiences. I always try to use examples like John Thune. John Thune comes from a state with damn near no black people. No black people. But how does Amy Bag graduate first in her class at Notre Dame Law School? I don't care if she graduated first in her class, Marion. So I don't think Congress. You think people who run for Congress should know constitutional law? You think that should be a requirement? We would limit Congress to a class of people whose personality we don't have a clue about if we just limited people who had new constitutional law. I fundamentally disagree with that, because I don't just want those class people. Amy Coney Barrett, just because she graduated top of her law school, I didn't say she wasn't smart. You can be smart. I just said she doesn't have the practical experience of those other three, where she understands. She might know her classroom, but where she's in court or she's a judge in a lower level court, understanding what my decisions and how they affect people on the ground, like Ketanji Jackson Brown does, who had to deal with the poorest of the poor, people who couldn't even afford their own defense.
Leonard, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, very clearly. Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to get my Bluetooth hooked up to this thing.
Well, you're good right now. I can hear you. So whenever you want to chime in. So
I could barely hear you. That's why I asked.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now. A college degree is not required for a U.S. president or Congress. That's interesting. Well, I'm not going to say I didn't know that, because Andrew Jackson didn't have a law degree from a school. The way he got his law degree was through practical experience, because it used kind of like Kim Kardashian was trying to do it. In California, you still can get your law degree through practical experience. But again, I'm going to ask Stacey again. So you think that if you don't know constitutional law, then you shouldn't run for Congress?
Well, okay. Now I can actually respond to all of this stuff that you were saying.
Go for
it. First of all, when they wrote the Constitution, most of the men who were in Congress, who were legislators, they didn't have college degrees because there weren't that many colleges. I don't know if you heard me say that earlier, but I do think that somebody, as you said, whoever runs for Congress and becomes a politician should have a basic understanding of the Constitution and how to legislate. There isn't much room for, what's the word I'm looking for, to learn on the job. So no OJT in this. You got to hit the ground running. So you should at least have a basic understanding of how this works. And going back to a point that Marion said earlier, about how you're going to write legislation. I think that's he didn't use that specific term, but that's what he was alluding to. In my personal opinion, the way they write legislation is wrong. They use all of this country way of saying highfalutin language to make bills harder for the average person to understand. I can guarantee you that majority of the people in Congress can't understand the language that's used in some of these bills because it makes no sense. None of it makes it, and it's vague for a reason. It's vague because they don't want the average person to understand what legislation is or what they're saying in this legislation. So it's vague on purpose, and I think we need to change that. Having said that, I do think you should have some type of not formal education per se, but you should have some knowledge of this, of not how Congress works. I was not saying when I said that she didn't have a degree, I wasn't saying that because, or at least I didn't know she had a degree, but I wasn't saying that to say that that the degree should be a requirement. I was saying that she's just not that goddamn smart. I don't give a damn where she graduated from. Or if she is smart, she has a good way of hiding it. But in order for a black politician or a Latino politician or an Asian politician to rise to that level, they have to have degrees. So many degrees, it's ridiculous, and people still don't trust them. And just because somebody has a degree does not make them that smart. A lot of the shit that Donald Trump says is stupid as hell. He has no basic understanding of how the world or how laws are made, how our legal system works, how the executive branch is supposed to work, all of those things. He has no basic knowledge of it. He just does stuff because he thinks he can, and they allow him to do it because he's a white man. I mean, I'm being real honest with y'all. Y'all know for a fact if Obama did a fifth of the stuff or 1% of the stuff that Donald Trump has done, they would have rushed him out of office. He would have been impeached a long time ago. And that's real talk, y'all. I don't care who says that. It's real talk.
I think there's a nuance there, Kenneth. I don't think he gets away with it because he's just white. I think he gets away with it.
It is.
Right now, I think he gets away with it because those people that are supporting him, particularly in the Senate, have a financial interest personally in the stuff that he does. And the minute that financial interest, the minute they start catching heat, they're gonna start pulling back. Like Rand Paul, a college degree doesn't equate to walk around.
And I agree with Stacey on that. It doesn't, because Donald Trump actually has a master's degree. He has a master's degree from Wharton School of Business, University of Pennsylvania. That's an Ivy League degree. But yet and still, he's still dumb as a fucking box of rocks. He's dumb as a box of rocks. And I agree, it is the money part of it. But he has no basic understanding of how college works. I mean, not college, of how government works. No basic understanding at all. And I think that should be a requirement. It doesn't. Degrees don't always equal to equate to intelligence. We know that, and because he's a white male, he can always fail up.
I got 3 professions on there, and there are a lot of people know that there's people in their profession graduated degrees they have that they wouldn't let. I'm sure Lois knows people that she wouldn't let touch her mouth. They might have got through dent school, but that doesn't mean that they good dentists. Brian says that all the time. Brian says, I know a lot of sorry lawyers, horrible lawyers, horrible. And my only thing I'm saying is what I think 2 things I want to touch what Don said, which, yeah, if that's the requirement, they would require orientation of some sort to then get the basics of it. He doesn't have a master's. He's an undergrad. His undergrad was from Wharton. I didn't know that. I thought he had an MBA.
I thought it was a master's. Yeah, I thought he did too.
I thought, and then what else was said? Sorry, y'all. I want to touch on something that it's my Rosalind says it's critical that diversity of thought and experience is represented in Congress. That's why we are where we are. There's not enough regular folk in Congress because you done made regular folk think that they aren't qualified to run, like their opinions don't. And regular folk have great opinions because they common sense opinions based on their life experiences.
Well, see, that's the thing though. It's not just regular folk. It's regular folk that know some stuff, man. Because we got regular folk in there, but they don't know anything.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a good point. I'm talking about regular folk again, like the guy coming out of Maine right now. He comes across as a regular guy, and when even with the stumbles that he had, I watched his apology, and I really could relate to what he was saying about you do dumb shit when you're young and you do some crazy. And thank God I'm not the same person. The guy who's running for Senate out of Nebraska, he's a mechanic for 24 years. He's a mechanic with a shop that has like 6 employees, but he's a mechanic. That's his profession. So you can't tell me he's not smart enough to be in Congress. You can say that, well, he should know at least. And this is what I want to say to Stacey. Yeah, but you got a lot of lawyers in Congress right now who know the Constitution and literally on the Republican side are letting the Constitution be trampled on. James Comer is not a lawyer, but he knows the Constitution. He knows the Constitution. And James Comer is just letting the president do what he wants because it hadn't bit him in the ass yet. But Thomas Massey, his congressman from Kentucky, who has something to lose, and now is Donald Trump's biggest enemy on the Republican side. Thomas Massey's like, no, I'm not bowing down to him to that. I have a line. I don't agree with Tom Massey's policies, but I think that there should be a wide range of people in Congress representing Congress, because this has not worked, particularly on our side.
Well, I'll say this. It should be a diverse voice in Congress, in all politics, every level of politics, a diverse voice. But they should all have one common thing. Let's take care of the people. When they wrote the Constitution, one of the things that they talked about was a social contract. And the social contract basically states that if the people do what they're supposed to do, the government does what they're supposed to do, everybody's happy. Government is there to take care of the people of the country. That's it. That's the basic tenets of our Constitution, our system of government. Government is there to take care of the people. People do what they're supposed to do. Government does what they're supposed to do. And I tell my students that all the time. We have a social contract in this class. I'm supposed to teach you. You're supposed to sit there, and learn. If I teach, you learn, you win. That's the social contract. And by winning, I mean you pass my class. That's it. That's the basic concept behind our Constitution, the social contract. When we don't have that, we don't have people in elected office who care about the people, who want to do what's best for all people, not just one part of the people, then that's when we start having problems. That's how we end up where we are now. And we need to elect people, regardless of their educational background, people who actually care about the people of this country. But we keep putting dumbasses in who don't care about anybody. All they care about is their bottom line. And that's why we're in this trouble. Donald Trump should never have been president to begin with. Never. Because he's unqualified on every single level. Unqualified. Unqualified.
I would say this about Donald Trump. It's something my brother said. Notice how I didn't say my little brother. Something my brother said.
Well, that's the only brother you ever talk about. You'll never ever talk about the other one, so we assume we know who you talk about.
I always.
And you never mention your sisters either, unless they come on here. You'll never mention them either. Hey, Watkins family, I don't think he should be invited to Thanksgiving dinner this year because he's always disrespecting y'all. I'm just saying, from an outsider's point of view, he don't never give y'all props, and y'all are very accomplished people. I know at least 3 of y'all or 2 of y'all personally. My mother met the other one that she didn't like, that she thought was Leonard. So.
Hey, look, you will get no brownie points from the other ones. Now, let me finish what I was going to say. There's not a one size fits all. Like I'm curious to think what you all think about this. The reason, and Kenneth and I, and me and Marion on one side, Kenneth on the other side, The reason we're in the position we're in right now is because the Democrats have nobody that can move the needle from a public perspective. Obama could move the needle. The Democrats don't have anybody, particularly among young black males, that can get young black males motivated to vote because they don't speak the language. So,
okay.
let me finish.
Go ahead.
Right now, you have a lot of people, Stacey, who can read policy and write policy, but who gives a damn because they can't get people out to vote. I talk about that all the time in the state of Georgia. Right now, I need fighters. I don't need policy writers right now. I need somebody that could come in and move these people who feel left out, whatever. And Ken and I talk about this all the time, or who could come up with a strategy and can get people to come out and listen to what they have to say and get them to vote. And I need that person in Congress right now. I could surround that person with people who can write policy and get them to understand it. But I need somebody that can motivate people to vote. And none of my reps can. I don't even see my reps anywhere. Because they can't move people.
But see, the thing is, there are people out there who are intelligent, can write policy, and can also move people. But we are taught, and there's black people out there that could do that.
Who in Congress? Who in Congress?
No, I'm not talking about in Congress. I'm talking about people who aren't in Congress. And then people in Congress that can do it. Shoot, what's her name? Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett.
I'm not dogging Jasmine. I love Jasmine. But what I will
Jasmine
say
Crockett, hold on now. Jasmine Crockett can move the needle, and Jasmine Crockett can speak the language of everybody, everyday people. That's why they like her. When she came out with that bad butch body thing, that right there, that got their attention. Everybody got everybody's attention, and people will follow Jasmine Crockett right now through hell with gasoline draws on because she knows how to do that. Kamala Harris knew how to do it, but the only problem was she couldn't be who she was. She had to play a role. And I'm gonna tell you this. Hold on. Remember when in that debate, we said this before, in that debate when she almost told Donald Trump to shut the fuck up? And I told you this before. If she had said that or something close to that, that would have gotten her a lot more support, especially in the black community. Because they want to know somebody, they want to see somebody that's going to tell this man to shut the fuck up. You need to shut the fuck up with all this bullshit. And that's what they need. Hakeem Jeffries, nobody follows him because he's always trying to be Mr. Nice Guy. He don't want to be seen as the angry black guy. Jasmine Crockett, she said, you know what? I'm going to stop all this pretending and I'm going to be the woman that I am. I'm going to be who my mama and daddy raised.
Kenneth, here's the problem. I agree with everything. Here's the problem. Here's the problem that you don't want to admit. And here's why my cousin said Marion Barry. And it's shameful, but it is what it is. There are so many male chauvinists in the black male community that's not going to vote for a woman. They just not. They just some chauvinistic assholes. And Jasmine can be the beast that she's supposed to be. But I can literally, and I tell you this all the time, my experience comes from literally talking with guys. Marion Barry, somebody like Marion Barry could speak the language with all his flaws, because we know he had a lot of them. Could speak the language, but he could get. Right now, you're having black males fall out of the political process. And Jasmine, they should be listening to her, but they can't. And unfortunately, we need them to vote in order to win. I agree. I love Jasmine. I send Jasmine money when I don't have the money to send to her, particularly when they tried to gerrymander her district. Leader Jeffrey wants to be Obama so bad. Look, my cousin Diane will tell you, Leader Jeffries is the most boring fucking politician I've ever been. I went to see him speak, and I was like, you know what? This is a waste of time. He didn't give us any direction. He didn't do anything. He wasn't fiery. And people came to see him what time was it down on 7:00 on a Friday night in Southwest Atlanta. And I walked out there thinking, this is the best we got. That's what I say. This is the best we got.
He is a policy wonk. Now, I'll say this. I says you need. This is where the diversity comes in. You need somebody like him, the policy one, who'll be behind the scenes doing all the stuff and all this. Crossing the I's, dotting the I's and crossing the T's, or crossing the I's and dotting the T's, whatever, however you want to say it. I like the second one better, actually. But anyway, you need somebody like that. You need a policy wonk. You need somebody who knows the policy, who can get behind doors, and cajole people into do it. But you also need somebody out front who's going to, as Jesse Jackson said, shake the trees. That's what you need. You need somebody to shake the trees. You need somebody who's going to go out there and be front and take the brunt of the blows to protect the person behind the scenes. That's what you need. Martin needed Malcolm. And most people didn't know. They met a few times and they talked. And Malcolm was in real support of the civil rights movement. But he said the reason why they didn't get together, because he knew if they got together, it would mess up what Martin was doing. So he stayed in his lane. And he took all the blows so Martin could do what he did. That's what we need. We need somebody on the outside taking the blows, taking the body blows, and calling a spade, and cussing people out every once in a while in the most intelligent way. And then you need somebody like Jeffries in the background. Let him stay in the background. Let him do what he needs to do in the background. We don't even know what he needs to do, but we need somebody out front that's going to fight. Now, whether that person out front is going to be a woman or a man, but we need somebody out front. Reason why people like Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom took the Trump playbook and used it against him. He's literally taking Donald Trump's words and phrases and style and use it against him. And I don't know if Gavin Newsom is highly intelligent, but he got some highly intelligent people working with him. And he's going to be the Democratic nominee. I can tell you that now. He's going to be the Democratic nominee for president.
Kenneth,
yeah.
Don just done lost all credibility to me. Cory Booker. I wouldn't put Cory Booker out in front of nobody. Cory Booker irks the shit out of me.
I agree with Donald. I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. What's your name, Leonard? I agree with you. Cory Booker, I would not do. Cory Booker is, he's half a step above Leonard Jeffries. He's just as boring.
He could not come south and move any goddamn body. Cory Booker, and that's another thing that pissed me off. All the most powerful people, African Americans, because of seniority, are all from the North. They couldn't come and do a Southern tour like Obama did if their life depended on it. If their life depended on it, where the majority of African Americans are. Cory Booker couldn't get. Cory Booker, you don't like him. Effective at what? I mean, and this is a sincere question. Let me change my tone. What has he been effective at?
Promoting himself.
Right, promote. I don't, and even in promoting himself, he has not been as effective as Jasmine. He does not want to talk any uncivil language.
Nope.
Any uncivil language. He wants to be the same. He does not. His uncivil language does not move the needle with people. Not in this day and age. He got there because his constituents are comfortable with him. His old
and let's be real. When he moved into when he was running for mayor of Newark, and he moved into the projects, and he was like, "Oh, conditions are horrible, blah blah blah," and all that. He lived in the projects for a year or so, something like that. People respected that, but he doesn't have that fiery belly. He's too much of a and I don't know if he went to Ivy League school, but he did. I know he's if I'm not mistaken, he's an attorney. He did. Okay. He got too much Ivy League in it. He has too much Ivy League. He can't shake that. That's not he's not that person. He's not that man. I'm telling you, Don. He's not that man.
If he was one of those brothers that you got the impression, this is my opinion, that you got the impression that he could go into the barbershop and talk the shit in the barbershop. It would come across. It would literally come across. Come on, Don, you know that it would come across. You would get the impression that
he can't go. Well, I say this: one of a good politician, especially a black one. can go into the barbershop or the beauty salon and talk to the people, stand on the corner and talk to the people, and then go to the White House and talk to a foreign dignitary. That's what we need. We need somebody like that. Somebody who could, as somebody said earlier, code switch. Knows how
Man,
to code switch in the middle of a damn sentence. They can code switch. That's what we need. And it's not just black. I'm not just talking about black politicians, but white and Latino, Asian. That's what the Democrats need. Somebody who can code switch. We don't need policy wonks anymore. We need a code switcher. Somebody that can stand on the corner and talk shit with people, and then go talk shit with other people. That's what we need.
like Gavin Newsom's doing right now. Gavin Newsom
Yeah,
getting
that's what we do. And like I say, I don't know. I knew Gavin Newsom was governor of Florida. I don't know much about his past. I don't know where he came from and all that stuff. But what I do like is he will go toe to toe with Trump and call Trump a punk ass bitch in his face. I get the feeling he would say that. I got a feeling he would say that. And that's what I want. And I'm telling you, although Kamala Harris can code switch, she's very good at it. Like in interviews, even though I can't stand this dude in his show, Charlamagne the God, when she was on his show, she switched up. Because I remember he asked her something about smoking weed. She was like, yeah, shit, yeah, I did. And let's move on. She's like, I'm Jamaican. Of course I did. I'm half Jamaican. Of course I smoke weed. I thought that was funny that she only thinks Jamaicans the only one that smoke weed. But the fact that the way she said it and laughed about it, it's like, okay, dude, what you trying to say? I went to Howard. I'm an AKA. I'm black. Y'all trying to ask me if I'm black. And that was his way of asking if she was black. Like, yeah, I'm black.
I got a question.
Not that you got to equate black with being smoking weed, but that was her way of saying, yes, I am really black. I can burn in the kitchen. I throw down in the kitchen. And that was just a little foo-foo she stuff. I can really throw down in the kitchen. That's what we need. She needed to show more of that actually when she was running.
I got a question for Don. Maybe it's because she went to the HBCU. Maybe it's because she pledged AKA. I always understood what Kamala was doing. And I never got the impression. I was like, she's from Oakland. You can't survive in an Oakland black neighborhood and not have some hood in you. You just can't. Now, Cory Booker go to the barbershop. People look at him like, what are you doing in here? He has swag in his head. That's funny. I think that she got caught up in that. How to put it? Until you get to the point in your life as an African American, you go, you damned if I do, you damned if I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. I might as well be myself. You start getting pulled in different directions by some of these consultants who say that middle America won't follow you. And I think if you run,
which is crazy.
Okay, they weren't gonna follow me anyway.
Right. I mean, if you look at the way the numbers in the country, the major cities in the Northeast, the votes are in the Northeast, California, and the major cities in the South and in the Midwest, which means you got to have the urban vote. They will follow you. The rest of them, and it's funny because they always talk about the Midwest. You remember back in the 90s, in the early 90s, they said the biggest buyers of hip hop were white kids from the suburbs in the Midwest. Those are the same people that who grew up listening to hip hop that are voting age, our age now, 40s, 50s, all of that stuff, that are voting. They understand that language. Not Jimmy Kimmel. What's his name? What's the other guy's name? There's a late night show.
Fallon.
No. Yeah, Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon is a hip hop head. He has a following all over the country. You don't think that people come on his show and they talk about hip hop. There's a guy on what's his name? On MSNBC. His thing is centered around hip hop. He's a hip hop head. They're all white.
He
So to
irritated me.
think that people sometimes, yeah.
Yeah,
Because he just tried to throw hip hop references just any old where it don't match. Just
it's like,
it's unnatural. But
come on, bro.
the fact that you have people all over the country that follow hip hop, and you, Leonard, you and I, our generation, we grew up on hip hop. So you mean to think that they can't? These white people in the middle of America can't understand that type of language or that type of behavior? They understand it. They grew up listening to it too. So having that old narrative that as a black person you have to be spitting policy, you can't let yourself go, can't let yourself go in public because it'd be used against it. That narrative is gone. It's gone, and it's really and truly because of hip hop.
I want to say that all those cities Marion just named, Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit, and Cleveland, all of those cities in the national election, African American vote was down. They didn't, and a large part of it was down because of African American men. And a large part of that was because of male chauvinism. And you're going to have some brother get up there and call these Negroes out. You just ain't voting her because she's a woman. Period.
Well, Obama does that, and every time he says something, you got somebody coming on and saying, "Oh, that's wrong. It wasn't black men's fault." Yes, the hell it was. Yes, the hell it was.
And the reason they don't listen to Obama after he says that is because of what you and I just said. Obama don't come on there like Roland was saying, say, "Fuck you. You know I'm goddamn telling the truth, and I ain't gonna back down." Period. Just because you don't like Killer Mike does it all the time. Killer Mike does that all the time. Calls black men to the carpet when he knows it's the truth. He don't care about your feelings. I care about what you do.
That's the thing.
Right.
That's the thing. We got too many people that care about the feelings. Right. They care about being liked instead of speaking the truth. And getting back to what you said, Don. Nobody said he wasn't black enough. Nobody said that. We said he can't code switch. That's what we said. And if he can code switch, he's never done it. Nobody's never said he wasn't black enough. And also, too, they would also ask him why he in the barbershop when he bald head and ain't got no mustache. What they gonna shave? His eyebrows?
You said
go in the barbershop.
You said Killer Mike couldn't get elected to what? The Congress? I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think Killer Mike wants to be a politician. I think Killer Mike is very, very articulate in how he moves. And he's unapologetic. He's unapologetically African American communities. But he also knows Roland slapped back Charlemagne. He did. So I can't I don't know if that's true. It's how who won. It's how Cory Booker won. We could be wrong. Don, we could be wrong. My thing with and my wife has said, my thing with Cory lately, Kenneth, I don't know if you feel this way. I didn't see the needle be moved when he did that filibuster. I saw his campaign conference.
Didn't do nothing.
Yeah, I saw his campaign conference I think he raised $10 million. Okay, cool. But I don't think what he did had anything to do with the elections 2 weeks ago. He's never come down here and done a barnstorming in the South ever.
Cory Booker don't get that kind of love, and it's not a slight on his blackness. It's a slight. It's just a fact, as a mere fact, that he just does not have that. As somebody said, that swag. He doesn't have that swag. He doesn't. He's too much of a policy wonk. Period. But you need somebody. You need Dolomite. That's what you need. Dolomite. You need Dolomite. Look, we need a modern day Dolomite. That's what we need.
This is what I would say to everybody if you know somebody. What Donald Trump has done, Donald Trump has made, this is a good thing Donald Trump has done. The election of Donald Trump, this is a good thing. You don't have to be perfect to run for Congress. You can have made mistakes to run for Congress. You don't have to be civil for the sake of being civil for run for Congress. You just have to be effective. You just have to be able to communicate with people. Your past, enough good people don't run because they're running from their past. They think I made that mistake, it's not good enough. That's out the window. And obviously all these quote unquote picture perfect people are not who we thought they were. Susan Collins is not who we thought she was. John Thune is not who we thought he was. These moderate, no, they're not. And somebody has to call them out. And what white people elected Wicked Trump? White people elect white people and the wait. People gotta stop saying that. Kenneth says this, Marion says this all the time, and I say it. No, they just didn't. People who did not vote helped get him in. And I don't blame the African American community, but Kenneth and I say this all the time. When you know that every election, you got to come at around 95% to move the needle, then that's your moral obligation. Period. It doesn't affect you the same way. We say this all the time. The problems doesn't affect our communities in the same way. It has an adverse effect on our communities. So we have to vote, whether we agree with people or not. So the vote was down in Detroit. It was down in Philly. Because I had a friend of mine called me from Philly during the election.
Atlanta?
Yeah, black people not coming out to vote. Last 2 weeks ago, I said this on a post, and I know we got to go. 2 weeks ago, we had 586,000 registered African Americans vote in Georgia. We got 2.4 million registered African American voters. We're at 21%. That just cannot happen with us. And you got to have somebody that can get that through to people. Somebody that can barnstorm across the South. Because you saw what happened with Mississippi when it went up by what? Maybe 2 percentage points among African Americans?
Yeah, something like that.
They destroyed the supermajority. So imagine if it went up by 10%. So who can you get that can communicate that they all going to
let's put a bow on this because we got to go because I got a basketball game today. We need somebody that's bougie hood because Roger said we need some hood. We need somebody that's bougie hood. That's what we need. We need bougie hood. Somebody who's intelligent, but also can get down in the dirt and get nasty with it when you need to. That's what we need. We need, if we run it for, if we want to put it in the terms of a black male, because we already have a black female like that. That's Jasmine Crockett. We need a black male bougie hood. That's what we need. We need somebody who's going to stand up there and say, you full of shit.
You got to be an asshole. I'm always amazed that when they get up in these, why they don't look at like somebody like Elon Musk or Scott Bessent and just say, I just got one question, Secretary, Mr. Secretary. Why you got to be such an asshole? You got more money than God. Help me understand why you got to be such a big asshole with people who are poorer than you. Why? What's
but that's the thing. But people like assholes. But in the black community, we like intelligent people that are hood. We do. We do like that. If you can speak to everybody, then you are good. You will win. If you're effective, you know what to do. You can talk to anybody about any subject, anybody. You can go in the barbershop, talk to them about, hey, man, this is what I want to do when I get elected to Congress. But also, too, did y'all see that game the other day? You see that dunk that boy did? That don't make no damn sense. What his mama fed him? Something like that. You're like, wait, he's cool as hell.
Where you going? What you talking about? What game? Wait, whoa. That's a hell of a pivot. What game? What you talking about? Oh, you said
Glen Hill.
Oh, my bad. Oh, that went straight over my head. I get it. My bad. Keep going.
You gonna interrupt me about something like that? I was on a roll, man. I was butter. I was on a roll, dude. You just messed up my flow. But like I said, we need some bougie hood people to run for office.
Okay.
Elon was. Hey, hold on, Eileen. Elon was always an asshole and always rich. He ain't come over here poor.
No. Tell the real story. Elon was not rich. Elon got a $465 million grant from the Obama administration through a special Department of Energy grant that they were giving.
Okay, he wasn't a billionaire, but he wasn't. He was rich. He was a
You can
millionaire when he got here.
you
Daddy
can't blame
gave
that
him
on
some
Obama.
money.
You can't blame that on Obama.
Uh,
That company, they couldn't even build a plant. He's just an asshole. And nobody's called him
uh,
out and said, you're just a complete narcissistic asshole. And that's what people want. You got more money than God. You just an asshole. But you won't ever be an asshole with that type of power again. And nobody has called him out on saying, you're such an asshole that you wouldn't let 40,000 people of color in Africa die with food that's rotting. You're an asshole. You're an asshole. He wasn't as rich as what we say he is. He didn't have the power. That's what I'm saying. Rich is relative. It's a relative. At the time, he wasn't a billionaire. And he wasn't a citizen. And nobody's called. None of the Democrats have just, except Jasmine, if she gets a chance to, saying, you're just a complete, utter asshole. We don't need any more you running the government. But
that's
Kenneth,
that's what we need. Yeah.
You got to go someplace. What you got to do? Send this out.
All right. First of all, Glen Hills people, Glen Hills Spartans, we having our first home game today. First home basketball game. Please come out and support those young men. They would love to see the crowd, our home crowd, making some noise today. And they're 2-0 so far this season. So we got a pretty good squad. Secondly, last but not least, I got to give a shout out to the Remix. Today is his 21st birthday, y'all.
Happy birthday,
My son, the Remix, the aerospace engineer student at Tuskegee, the DJ on campus, turned 21. So now we can legally go get a drink together. And although he's in Atlanta, I'm here in Augusta, sometime within the next few weeks, we're going to go get that drink together. Legally get the drink. Because I ain't going to say that I've given him illegal drinks. I ain't going to say all that. I ain't going to say all that because I ain't trying to incriminate. But happy birthday, son. I love you. I really love you. And I'm so proud of you. And the whole community is proud of you. Your whole village is proud of you, man. Keep doing what you do. And you're going to go far.
I'm going to leave this with a plug for somebody else. Can y'all please?
Don, hold up. Don is only 58. God damn, Don, you look old as hell, man.
Oh my God.
That was too easy. It was too easy. I couldn't let it slide. Happy birthday, Fred.
I'm gonna leave this with a plug, which is, can y'all please, all of y'all, go get an account, even if you don't use it with Fanbase, and get your friends to get an account with Fanbase. We have got to have an independent social, and Spill too. Spill, and if you got to go back over to the Black pages, do that. We have got to have independent Black social media that won't shadow ban us or start doing the algorithm so we won't get out. We don't have Black newspapers or radio stations anymore. Please, please, please. It doesn't take you but 2 minutes to get you an account on Fanbase. Post once or twice or post a week and talk to your friends about it. The Isaac Hayes is really trying to give us, and they need our support. And I'm going to say this again, thoughts and prayers only go but so far. If you want people to speak up for you, you better send money. And you better tell your friends to send money, because that's been our biggest issue is we don't send money, so those people have to accept money. Jeffries has to accept money from AIPAC because he doesn't get enough African Americans to send money. But he's not charismatic enough to raise money, because Jasmine's raising money like crazy from what I'm told. She's one of the top fundraisers. So that's my spiel. Hey, thanks everybody for coming on. I seen the comments from my family. Take it under consideration. And
hey, don't invite him to Thanksgiving dinner, y'all. He don't ever mention none of y'all. You only mention one person. There's about 15 of your immediate family. The other 14 never get mentioned, or 13 never get mentioned. You don't mention none of the rest of them.
You know,
only my little brother. That's all he never mentions.
My cousins, they all from DC.
I was born in DC too.
That's why I love them. Anyway,
yeah.
Peace. Don, you don't look old to me, Don. We like to be brothers. Don't pay no attention to him.
That's an old picture of Don. That's an old picture of Don, man. I'm telling you. I thought Don was about 60, 70 years old, man. One more thing. Hey, y'all. Y'all have a good, safe holiday week and all of that. Please enjoy yourself and don't eat too much and exercise after you do eat, because it's going to come back to haunt you. Love y'all. Deuces.
Marion, I'll talk to you later today. Deuces.
Hold on. Is Rosalind from DC?
Yes.
Is Rosalind from DC?
Cousin.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, okay. I ain't scared. Rosalind. I used to live in DC. I was born in DC, so I ain't scared of none of y'all. That's just a little. That's just y'all Georgia light. That's all that is. Y'all Georgia light. Y'all ain't all y'all talking good game, but you ain't got no game. Same for
Don't worry about
NYC. I ain't scared of y'all either. I live there too.
it. Bye, y'all.
Bye. See y'all
Bye.
later. Deuces.